Kelly has continued to get his dick sucked.
Welcome everyone. Today's guest is Marley Tipper and her roommate Paris.
We're more than roommates. Just gotta put it out there.
They're lovers on the
For the
side.
people that don't know.
Yeah, they lovers.
I'm doing this thing called Conversations with Kelly, where I bring on friends of mine that I feel like have unique stories, and I'm just asking them questions about their lives. And then hopefully the people that are watching can get inspired and learn some things along the way.
I'm gonna cry.
No,
I'm so
that's
proud of you.
fucking- I love it. This is so awesome.
Me and Marley grew up together in Burlington, Vermont. It's a small town. It's like a college town, I guess.
Like you're starting a horror movie.
Yeah. And neither of us were huge fans of our high school. So how did you end up choosing going to LA? Like, what was the path for you?
Well, that journey started when Katy Perry came out with the song California Girls. And I believe it was 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, my brother downloaded that music video onto his computer because obviously super hot. And I watched it. That made me want to go to California. And then just like learning more about what California was more than just Katy Perry's interpretation, that kind of made me want to go.
Were you sure that you wanted to do modeling and stuff, or was that not part of your decision at all?
I mean, I didn't really think of it as modeling. I don't know. I never really thought of myself as like a model going out, like going to like find modeling jobs. I kind of just wanted to be like photographed because I liked being photographed in high school and I like it now and I liked it back then. So I mean, yeah, it was like, it's the place where everything happens. So it's like one of the hubs. You can just do whatever. There's all different kinds of opportunities. So it seemed
no
like
judgment either.
Yeah, like you
in
can just
photos,
go.
you can
You
like
just
kind of
go.
do whatever you want.
That was one of my favorite things when I first came to Southern California. Was just like, no one gives a fuck. Like you could
and you can find every idea that you want to like execute. There's someone that has like a way to do that.
I was like videoing these skaters, and this kid was with his girlfriend. His girlfriend was like gorgeous, and he had like black nail polish on. And I remember being like, is that your girl? Because like to me, growing up in the Northeast, like no guys painted their nails.
Yeah, nail polish was not a thing.
And he was like,
they'd be like, oh, you're fruity. Like
I saw that yesterday. Someone was hating on my friend for wearing nail polish. They were like, what do you got in your nails, bro? And he was like, nail polish. And they were like, why, bro? And he was like, because it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
And like just was like, okay, whatever. Like I'm not insecure about it. So that guy was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because if you own it, it really takes all the power.
Yeah, you can only be embarrassed if you allow yourself to be.
So you were sure you wanted to go to college?
Honestly, I gave it the old college try. The old college try, but I mean, clearly look where that brought us here. So when I got into Chapman, it was actually at a Rice versus VHS basketball game. We lost, but we lost, which was sad. But everyone was like sad about the game. And then I go out and I'm like, oh my God, I have an email. I walk away from the group of people that I was with and I was like, I got into college. And everyone was like, boo-hoo, basketball game. And I was like, fuck y'all, I'm leaving. Like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
So I went to boarding school like my junior year for people that are watching. And I remember like my first week at school, like I came back to a football game in Burlington and people were like, it's so crazy that you left. Like, is it weird? Like, how do you like it? And I was like, I love it. You don't understand. Like, it was the best thing ever getting away from Burlington.
Bro, it's like life changing. Like to be able to like not like honestly like not have anybody like know what you're doing.
So Paris, were you like, was it a big decision for you coming to LA?
I feel like it was like definitely in the making because I had been visiting for like 7 years. I'd come for at least 2 to 3 weeks every summer. And I would just be like in love with it. I always told my mom I'm going to move here one day. And so I think it was very expected. Like when
let's just say all of my external family and some of my immediate family is blocked.
Wait, are your parents?
Wait, really?
Yeah. The only person I can see is my mom. And she is so supportive of me. She responds to every single one of my stories. And the only time that she gets like annoyed is when I post of me smoking, but she'll respond to the story and she's like, really? And I can hear it in her voice. She's just like, really? Like, really? You're going to post a video of you smoking? You're so cool. And then I'll respond. I'll be like, I'm having a good day. Like, what do you mean? And then she's like, okay, love you. Like, have a great day. This one time she FaceTimed me. I was about to take a bowl. And then I was like, yo, can I like take this with you on FaceTime? Because I don't like taking bowls alone. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Wow.
It was really, really nice.
I don't know if I want my mom to see me smoking.
I feel like, yeah.
It's not the vibe with my parents. Like,
Yeah,
I
no.
want that.
No,
bad.
it's like
You know what
piece
I
by
mean?
piece, but like them, like once you meet my parents, you're gonna be like, oh, that's why.
I would smoke with your dad.
Dude, my dad, he's like the
I
most
would-
spiritual, like insanely like intelligent person, and he just has so much
I just
knowledge
feel
that you
like-
like don't know you need.
I
you
feel like
know?
if I smoked with your dad, he would like whip out some knowledge that he has, and I
Yep.
wouldn't be able to
You'd be like,
comprehend it,
"What?"
and I'd be like, "Fuck, bro! Like I have too many questions."
that was
like,
my child. You're like,
Yo, one day Marley threw a party at her house and I got like super fucked up and I like walked upstairs.
he went into my dad's office.
I passed out in her dad's office. I didn't know, like I was obliterated. I was like 16
He
years
walked
old.
in and he was like, "So, Kelly, did you get
oh,
in?"
did he walk in the next
Dude,
morning?
No,
Yeah, it was like that day and I was
And
like
I had
so
snuck
fucked
people
up.
into the basement without my parents knowing. My parents were on the middle floor.
Didn't you tell me the story where you're like,
Yeah.
nobody go upstairs? like,
Nobody
you're-
go upstairs. This bitch. Oh my god, I was so pissed off that night. Let me paint you a picture. This man's, he had asked me to winter ball. I'm going back. He had asked me to winter ball. We went to winter ball. This kid ignored me the entire time. He was dancing with
Not
someone
too-
else,
not
dancing
too-
with a senior. This was sophomore year. He was dancing with a senior. And then I was sitting, waiting for my mom to pick me up. He comes over and he's like, yeah, so I just like wanted to like touch base. I just don't think that we can be together. Like, I'm just too much of a player. I don't want you to get hurt. And I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, we're fine. We don't need to be together. Yeah. And then he was like all up in my grill because I was talking to a senior then. And you were like, no, stop talking to the senior. Only I'm allowed to do that.
And then we kissed on New Year's in the bathtub. It was pretty epic.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that. And
Oh,
then after that, you guys were like,
so
"Never
then
mind."
wait, that was after my birthday party.
I think that we
Oh wait, no, that was New Year's. No, that was before winter ball.
yeah.
Was it like in the moment it happened, or like after you
It was
guys
in the
kind of like,
moment.
what the fuck?
Well,
Like-
after we went and got coffee, but at my birthday party, I was angry because you had been a dick to me at winter ball, and I was like, why the fuck is this prick at my birthday party?
this
I was like,
prick.
you should not be here. And so you come in and you start heavily drinking, like taking pulls, all this, whatever. And then he locks himself in my bathroom. And the bathroom is a double door, so he locked both doors. And you want to know what he did? He threw them in the sink. Sink, and he clogged the sink. And you want to know what his reasoning was of why he didn't want to throw open the toilet?
Why?
Because he didn't want to be a bitch and get on his knees. You want to know what a bitch does? Throws up in the fucking sink. Meanwhile, this is probably
Okay, but
one
like
of-
you're locked in, like nobody can see why you're.
I can't believe that I actually
I
said
know.
that.
He walks upstairs. He goes up to the upstairs bathroom and is trying to throw up in that bathroom. Our other friend Gunnar goes up to like help him, and then you go into my dad's office. My dad walks in the office and he's like, "So, did you get into something before this party?" And you're just like fucking passed out on the thing. My dad sends an email to his parents that was like, I think that Kelly was a little sick before you came to my dad. But he was like, I am not getting a fucking case for this. You were definitely drinking before the party anyways. Like you showed up like sauced.
I was in a dark time in my life for sure.
It's fine. It's fun, memes. Fun memes.
All of us have been in some pretty fucked up situations
Yeah.
when we're drinking that
No.
we're just like,
It was just
What
funny
the
because
fuck?
I was like, I'm the one person that I was like, why are you at my party? And then just fucking destroys my
Yo,
bathroom. I
you
was like,
invited me, okay?
I did it before winter ball.
okay,
You-
well, he's like, oh shit,
Dude,
she invited me.
you
right?
should have known.
Okay, we need to get back on track here.
Okay,
I'm like-
After roasting Kelly at 16 years old, there's a lot that we can do.
Okay,
Roasting,
No,
right?
I mean, that's basically my entire life. What else do you want?
Okay,
I think that's what made me the person that I am today.
your decision to go to Chapman. What other schools were you looking at?
Oh shit. I just got a notification. So
Okay.
what?
Okay. next
Yeah. I don't even know who it's from because the number's not saved.
All I saw was I want you.
Ew. Oh my god. Ew.
Did it actually say that?
I said I want you to something.
Wait.
Oh man.
Am I right?
Oh my god. Okay. Can we cut this out? Yeah, we'll just edit that out. What was the question?
It was what other schools were you looking at?
Okay, so yeah, I was looking at University of Redlands and chat. I think the only ones that I actually ended up clicking.
Not applying to, just clicking on.
No, the only ones that I clicked send, like the application.
Sorry.
It's okay. Oh my God. Okay, that's someone else.
All right, ladies, let's get back on task.
So I was deciding between University of Tampa and Chapman. Me put into like an environment of University of Tampa, like there wouldn't have been enough.
Like dick.
No, there would have been plenty of dick to go around. I would have been boring and like.
Yeah, you probably would have been
I
like.
probably would have been a whore, honestly. Yeah.
I would definitely be a whore at Tampa, for sure.
What are you gonna do, right?
What are you gonna do when you're in Tampa? You know?
What are you gonna do when you're in Tampa? I don't know. I don't know if I visited the school. I thought it was a beautiful campus. Like it looked really cool and like everything was super up to date and whatnot. But
Not up to date.
it wasn't what I needed, you know? Like it wasn't what I needed. But I think that at Tampa, it probably would have, and I could be wrong, but it probably would have just been like a lot more of placeholding before I found like my people. And Chapman didn't even bring me to my people. Chapman didn't bring me to you.
Don't you feel like freshman year though, you had a group for a while that you really fucked with?
I had a group of friends that I really liked hanging out with, but it was very surface level.
Yeah.
Like it just, I mean, I don't think that I knew at the time that it was surface level, but like I don't really think that I was like as aware of myself and like what I want my priorities to be and like what I need as a person. So it was just really easy to be friends with people, you know?
Yeah.
And like
something to learn from though. Like each
Yeah.
person you learn something from, like what you want and what you don't want in a person. Like just
Yeah.
as a friend.
And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I was trying to have too many friends for me as a person just because I was like not really sure of who I was. Like I didn't have a very good grasp on myself in the first few years of college. I have like not that many memories, like really nice memories of like my thoughts back then.
Yeah.
Which like doesn't seem like me now, because now I have like thoughts all the time where I'm like, oh, those are such good thoughts. Like I'm just gonna remember those and I'm gonna think about having those thoughts. But like back then, I feel like I was just thinking about bullshit.
Yeah.
Like just not things that needed to be remembered.
Someone said this to me the other day, like in a meeting, they were like, I want to get to the point where I can walk outside on a nice day and just breathe it in and like feel that bliss and be like, even though my life isn't perfect, like this moment is perfect. And I feel like for me, like at various points in my life, I've just been so negative and stressed out that like I've never been able to enjoy those little moments, you know? And I feel like when I'm good, I'm able to like be driving in the car and just be hit with that, like everything's good right now, you know? Or like waking up in the morning and then just walking out and like standing in our little area outside, just being like, wow, this is mine. It'll be like kind of funny, but I mean, it's really enjoyable. And like, I don't know, I definitely wasn't doing that when I was in school. Like I was not appreciating anything when I was in school. I was not appreciating myself. I wasn't appreciating other people. I wasn't like to the point that I like in the way that I should have been, you know? Like obviously I was like doing things and I was like going out and having fun, but like that was not showing myself any love. Like I was not giving myself any time of day. Like I was binge drinking before. Like it was bad, Kel. Like it was not good. And there was just like way too much partying. And it was just like useless partying. I wasn't even having fun. Like I wasn't even remembering any of it. And it was just kind of like dumb. And I feel like I wasn't like truly just like expressing myself in the way that I wanted to. I was just kind of expressing myself in the only way that I knew how. Yeah, no, I know exactly. Like when we were talking about me in high school, like I feel that. That's how I felt at the time, you know? And so what changed for you? Honestly, I mean, once the pandemic started, I had to move out of my college apartment, my sophomore year apartment in 24 hours and then go back to Vermont. So I kind of just like packed up the person that I was and moved back. And that was super eye-opening because I really didn't like who I was in that point in my life. And then coming home, I was like, well, who am I? And then over the pandemic, I was inside literally, like I wasn't seeing anyone in Vermont. I was barely seeing you. Like I wasn't seeing anyone. I was only hanging out with my parents and my brothers. And I was only hanging out with my brothers like for the last like month and a half of it. So I was really just kind of alone with my parents. But like I wasn't really talking to them that much. Like, what are we going to talk about? We've been hanging out for 4 weeks straight. Like I've gone to CVS once in the past 2 weeks. Like that was my outing. Yeah. So I think that's what changed it. It was kind of just like being alone and then getting to like move back. I like moved out to California for a second time, but for the second time, it was like the way that I wanted to do it in the first place. Yeah.
It was honestly just kind of like a little second chance.
And do you feel like you were like, okay, I now recognize what I was doing wrong and I want to do it differently now?
I wanted to view myself differently. I know I seemed like I had the biggest ego all the time, but I feel like my ego is huge right now, but it's the most pure it's been.
Yeah, I feel like there's different types of, there's like confidence in a real way.
Yeah, like before I feel like it was like insecure confidence. It was like, oh my God, people tell me I'm pretty, so I must be pretty. Haha, look how pretty I am.
Yeah.
But now it's like, fuck people. I know I'm hot. That's all that matters. Even if I like just woke up and I have like drool all over me, you know?
Yeah, no, I know exactly.
The mindset.
Do you feel like for people watching who maybe are struggling with that, like, what do you feel like were the action steps that you took to get there?
I feel like the first step that I took was junior year of high school, and I honestly just completely distanced myself from everyone. I was like really confused about why people acted the way that they did instead of be like a part of everything. I just kind of wanted to like look at the things that I was so supposedly wanting to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's something about you that people don't know when they see you or hear about you, is like that. I feel like even though you were like really popular and you were in that, like you're kind of like a weird kid almost, in a good way. Like you were friends with everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was just friends with everyone that like people didn't expect me to be friends with, but it was just weird. I didn't understand why people didn't expect me to be friends with them. Like there'd be people on like my ski team and stuff, and like people in my classes, and I'd be like, yo, what up? And then everyone would be like, why did you say what up to them? Like, why did you say that? And I'd be like, because I'm on the same team as them. So, okay, so yeah, I like distanced myself in junior year, and I kind of got that perspective. So that was the first step. I just like allowed myself to not really care what other people were doing in regards to me. And I just was like able to like kind of deal with myself. Like it was just like me and me, me and me. So we got along great. So then I was like kind of finding my people. Like the step back allowed me to like make space for people that I needed in my life.
So when you got to college, do you feel like you backslid in certain ways?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I was so like, I was doing well right before I went to college. Like I had a great summer. I was working. I made a bunch of money, and I was just like, I was having a really good time. And I was sad that I had to leave, but in other ways I was really excited. So, and then I got there and I met a bunch of people, and I made things like matter in my mind that didn't really matter, and it just kind of went from there. And obviously like meeting new people, it was like the opportunity to just be like, oh, it's a fresh start. I get to be like the new kid, but everyone's the new kid. And I don't know, I feel like I thought that I was going to be something different than I was. So I was like disappointed in myself when I just ended up being the same person after not doing anything like really to fix it.
You remember when I came and visited Chapman and we were walking down that street? What's that street?
Circle?
Yeah, we were just talking about how like you could go to a totally new place, and if you don't change yourself, like it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's the absolute same.
Yeah.
It was literally the same. I mean, there was more fun things to do than Vermont. We weren't just like having little bonfires and going to, you know.
But it's interesting how once you do start to change, like you could be in the same environment, like you could still be in Southern California, whatever, but you change and then your surroundings change.
Oh, every single thing changed. Like once after the pandemic, not after the pandemic, but after my quarantine ended and I was able to go back to California and like move in, it was completely different because like I didn't go to school. Like it was online, but I didn't go. And so we just had like, basically it was like new friends, because Audrey was also a new friend to me then, as well as Paris. Like I barely knew either of them. And then we just all moved in together.
We get up to where Paris is in your story. And then
we'll get up to where you're in the, okay. Okay, introducing. Okay, before Paris showed up, I got back and I was staying on my friend's couch before we moved in. We started going to parties. We were just like going to see everyone. Like we were going to see like all these random people, not random people. They were like our friends, but like people that I hadn't seen in months. Like I hadn't seen them in so long. So we were going to like all these like weird day parties at like random ass mansions and like houses with like crazy ass people. And we were just like there for a good time. And then, so we were doing that for a little bit. And then Pear showed up and I was like, okay, gotta make friends. Let me do what I do best. Hey, you want to go on this random thing with me and see what happens. So yeah, right. It's your turn to enter. But I don't even remember what we were talking about. Like before I like expose all of our crazy.
When you guys first started becoming friends and you guys were meeting all these like celebrities and crazy shit, like was it like surreal a little bit? Like this is the California everyone's talking about.
When Marley and I met, which honestly, like I was so nervous to meet her. I did not think I was going to like her.
We'll have her all wrong, you know, because they think that she'd be like.
Yeah, because the way that like even how you're saying like she's kind of like a dork, like that's how I like that's like the type of people that I get along with. I don't get along with very like, you know,
superficial.
Yeah, like I thought she was gonna be like, you know, she has like 15K on Instagram. She lives in LA, you know. And her TikTok also has like what, like 100K or something like that. So I was like, fuck, like I
at the time.
Okay, yeah. Well, we won't downplay you, but at the time, like for me coming from Minnesota, I'm like, fuck, like this girl is probably because like if anybody was that famous in Minnesota, like I would not get along with them. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Like you just kind of assume like, okay, well she's like, you know, has all these followers. So I assumed that like that was like how she was, you know, like how social media is like all fake. In all honesty, like it doesn't show you anything about anybody,
which we've learned.
And like we were in, you know, we would text, but like it wasn't really like that. I feel like the first time we like talked was we like FaceTimed about some like drama she had going on, and then we kind of like bonded a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't really show me anything. Like I just was still kind of like nervous. I'm like, what if she doesn't like me, you know, like, cause I don't have followers and I don't do that. And like, you know, I'm just like, fuck, like I didn't even really know what TikTok was. Like, we were just talking about our childhood and we realized how much we had in common. And then we kind of just like started going to like parties, and you know, they would be crazy parties, and I feel like Marley didn't really know like that side of me, so, and I didn't know that side of her. So we would go to these parties and like, you know, it was just like
we'd both get so uncomfortable. We'd be like, why are we
that, or like something crazy would happen and we'd both just be like, well,
be like we're together,
I'm like down with it,
let's just go with the flow, like oh, we could like, we there's potential for catastrophe.
Yeah. It's literally like, I swear, like the way we like decide things, like we just read each other's minds,
like look at each other, we're like,
yeah, like
it's amazing to see too, because like I feel like where we're from, like I don't really fit with the people that well, and I feel like Marley didn't either, and it's like so dope to see you guys with each other.
I have not had that many friends.
No, neither have I. Like we both like were very similar, like didn't have that many friends, like kind of just had like the same 2 friends from like childhood, like, you know, it's just like it was very similar. And like I don't know, I feel like we do a lot of crazy shit together, but then we like come back together in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that LA is like pretty close to how people describe it. Like it's pretty spot on, like what they say, like celebrities and you know, all the, there's just a lot of shit that you get exposed to, like you just don't see it coming.
And it's just, it depends on how you want to react to it too, because we both react in the same way. We're just like, what the fuck, like why are people feeding into this, like why are people like being so easily manipulated by things that should not be manipulating them?
You got to be really hard-headed to make it out here, like because people will take advantage of you. I don't think people realize that.
It was like right before I came to your guys' house, and I was at that party with all these people, and I walked
with all your TikTok friends.
There's like paparazzi out there, and I'm like, and they're like not taking any pictures of me.
Like, how do you know that I'm not like Tyler's brother? Like,
I'm
actually, you're like trying to like look good.
You're blocking Noah Beck. He's only like 5'8". You need to move.
I just remember feeling so like demoralized, because I was like, and I remember being like, yo, like I always wanted to be in spots like this, and then I was like, this shit is so whack. Like,
go to a party and you're just having a great time. You're literally just like, okay, whatever, and then you leave. The next day, you see on fucking Daily Mail, like LAPD were in the choppers last night, like trying to break down a party, and you're like, wait, is that me? Like, is that me right there, like in the video? I have a video of Paris, and we're like, oh my god, like just being like drunk girls or whatever, and then in the background there's just a chopper, and I was like, oh hey,
like with a spotlight, like looking down. They were saying stuff, but the music was too loud.
They're like, you guys need to evacuate, and we're just sitting there like,
At a party, we looked up, it was like in the hills or whatever, and there were like helicopters, and I was like, what is that? And they're like, that's the police. And I was like, what?
The police, yeah. We don't have choppers in Burlington.
Yeah, now they're like, get Kelly's house.
Yeah, be like Marley's basement. People are sneaking.
Everybody evacuate. It's like 20 people.
The amount of time that we spend trying to be like, okay, well, what the fuck am I supposed to wear? Because there's never a dress code. It's always just, okay, dress to impress. The fuck? You see people pull up and they're wearing like a fucking raccoon hat with like crazy ass bikini top and like assless chaps. I'm like, is it a costume party? Because like, what the fuck am I supposed to wear?
I was filming Big Clit at this party, and like we pull up and there's people wearing like, it looked like I walked into a Star Wars movie. You know, like
there's some pretty funky trends. I mean, I don't know. There's some funky trends.
Was there any point for you guys that was like exciting of like, oh, that? Because for me, there's definitely a little bit of like, oh my goodness, there's Madison Beer or whatever, like stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's like, I feel like it's like interesting to see famous people because you're just like, wow, like you're doing the same shit that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, we're really paid attention.
Yeah. Oh, but one thing that I will never forget that I'm very proud of is at a birthday party, we were on a party bus and I was sitting next to Lil Nas X. He complimented my outfit and complimented my glasses, and I was just like,
but like some celebrities, they look really good in person. Like you're like, wow. But some of them, you're like confirming, like, are you sure that's him? Like, are you fucking positive? And you're
Lil
like,
Nas X looked beautiful. His skin is flawless.
Skin was literally flawless. Like the only encounter I had with him was that he whacked me in the head with a fucking bottle of tequila. Not the best, but it was still a good like encountering because I love him.
Wait, Lil Nas X hit you in the head with a bottle of tequila?
Yeah, not on purpose because we were on a party
bus.
Was it
the blue and white one?
Pretty sure, yeah. And it hurt really bad. And he was very apologetic, I will say. And like we had a full conversation, so it was like good. But
he also got hit in the head.
But like in my head, I'm like, I'm only allowing this because this is Lil Nas X. Like
that's the weird part about LA.
And like it's even the same thing that I'm allowing something like that to happen. But if some random dude did that, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, you'd
like,
be like,
whatever.
Me in the head.
Yeah. But like in my head, I'm like, wow, I get to like have an encounter with this famous person that I like. I might as well just let it happen.
The best thing at parties is when you see people that are just like they're like famous, like everyone knows who they are, but like TikTokers, like you'll see them and just to pay them absolutely no mind. Like literally like to have them walk past you and be like, excuse me guys, we got someone coming through. And you're just like, who the fuck is that? I'm not moving. Like y'all can get your little phone flashlight out of here.
When I met like Charlie and Noah and all them, I was like, yo, what's up? What's your guys' names? And I did it on purpose and they kind of like looked at me a little weird and he's like, what's up, man? I'm Noah. And he was like, mad cool and stuff, but I was just like, I'm not gonna let them know that I know who they are. Even though they probably know that I already know who they are.
Well, even like when I see celebrities at parties, like I will not make eye contact. Like I will not look I'll get one good look and then I will never look at them again because I'm like, there's no fucking way that I'm gonna look like some fan. Like no.
If I was having sex with like Matthew McConaughey, oh my God.
If you're seeing these same people at like parties and shit like that, like it's really normal. But like, yeah, someone like fucking Future, like that is someone that I probably will never encounter. But if I fucked him, I'd be pretty excited. But like I wouldn't like
I would let him like do things to me that like I wouldn't let someone that isn't famous do.
I wouldn't think of him as just a guy I'm fucking. Like I'd be like, holy shit,
I'm
this is happening.
Future.
Like what the fuck?
I feel like after a while, the whole novelty of it would wear off, and it would just feel.
First time. I wouldn't view them as like just a normal human.
They're like doing the same things where they're just like texting you the same way someone that you've like hooked up with before is texting you, you know, like it's just not very different. Like if they're fucking like, I don't know, going all out, like sending you like, you know, if they're like making, I don't know, like it's not that different.
Anytime that I become friends with someone who's like well known, it's like the more that you get to see them on a human level, you're the same.
They're very human, which I think it's nice. I think it makes everything a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, no.
I think it'd be kind of weird. Like if I was like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to have encounters with someone if I was like overly impressed with just their existence, you know, like I wouldn't be able to just like sit comfortably with them, let alone like
you'd be like so starstruck. It'd be weird.
It's weird though because it's like we like the things that they like they make music, you know, we like their music, but for some reason like their actual like presence is way more exciting than the actual music.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Just to see them in person.
So the more that you guys have been in LA and like gotten exposed to all this stuff, does it get less exciting when you see? When you hang out? Yeah.
The one time that I was actually like really excited to be where we were is that we went to Partynextdoor's apartment.
Yeah.
And I will name drop because that was really fun and we had a great time and he is very nice.
Yeah, but we didn't say anything. Like I walked up to him and I was like, "Hi, like nice to meet you." Like I was just introducing myself to everybody. I said hi to him.
Totally platonic, friendly.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like my name's Party," and I was like, "Nice to meet you." Like that's a dope name.
Like no one names their kid Party.
But I was just like,
he said I'm Party.
Yeah, I said, "What's your name?" I was like, "My name's Paris. Nice to meet you." He said, "Oh, my name's Party." I was like, "Oh, that's dope." Like I like.
Imagine introducing yourself as Party.
I feel like when I see famous people, my first instinct is like act like you don't know them.
That's me too.
I'm like, I don't know why.
But it was difficult because there weren't that many people there. It wasn't like a party. It was more of kind of like a kickback.
You guys get invited. How does that work?
It's just by like fucking
Mutual
people
friends.
you know.
Yeah, people that meet us like
there's been parties or like places that we've been invited to, like a kickback, for example. We show up and there's somebody famous there and we don't even recognize them. We don't even know who they are.
No.
Like we have no idea. And then we find out later and we're like, what the fuck?
So my friend came up to us and he was like, "Don't turn into hoes just yet. But I think that Chris Brown is here." Literally, when I tell you, Kelly, I was like in a coma, like on the couch. And I was like, where? I was immediate hoe. Like I was like before he said don't turn into a hoe.
See,
I was a hoe.
Different. Like this is a different celebrity where I'm like, I was
scoping, dude. I was like full, like, you know, what are those? The lighthouses, like the. Like, I was scoping that shit out.
Chris Brown is.
And then we left, so I didn't get to see him.
I was at a party, and these people were saying that Bieber pulled up in this like black SUV, but then the paparazzi like surrounded his car, and then he breezed. I don't know if it was true or not, but everyone was like, "Oh."
I feel like that happens because we went to another party where Partynextdoor is supposed to be, and then we like saw him. Wasn't he outside? And then he like didn't.
Well, like in. they because I was standing outside waiting for my Uber, and a bunch of security guards walked up to the front to the two guys standing at the door, or the one guy standing at the door, and said, "Hey, we have like a high profile person coming in, like we need to like go in with, you know, we need to like find a room, we need to like whatever." And then I'm just like, so I was like wondering like who it was, and then they came back and he was like, "Okay, like Partynextdoor is ready to come in. Have you guys like found a place for him to go?" So like I think they were like trying to find somewhere for them to go.
But that place was packed. Like it was literally.
Is it tough for you guys to stay true to who you are in LA?
It allows you to express parts of yourself that like you didn't really know like existed, because you're seeing people do all these crazy things and you're like, nobody cares and nobody's saying anything, so maybe I can start doing some stuff that I've never done before. I
don't need anyone at these parties that we meet. Just meeting them for like 10 seconds, I'm not going to know that I need them like on my team or anything. Why would I do anything to like give them validation over the people that like I need with me, you know? Like I'm not gonna, if some random ass fucking girl like walks up to me and I'm with Paris and she's like, "Oh my God, you should come over here." It's like, no.
Like, I think you're a really loyal person.
Yeah, loyalty is like a huge thing.
There's been like times where like loyalty has like needed to come forward and like we've like both followed through with it.
Yeah.
I think that was like, I feel like that's like what you need though, like in a relationship. You need to like break through the, like you need these situations to pop up randomly so you can just be like, how are you going to react?
Yeah. And in just LA in general, like I feel like a lot of people that will move here from other places, they'll just put trust in anyone. Yeah. And like it's really easy to do that, but you have to learn quick that like you can't.
Yeah, especially with like money. I feel like that's one thing I would say is hard to like can definitely
we've been humbled. We've been humbled a few times.
I feel like we've kept each other straight, but like to be alone, I feel like you could easily get influenced.
And we've seen people like some of our friends that have just completely like on social media it will look like one thing and then in real life it's just so unbelievably different that it's like I can't. It's like it's difficult to respect people sometimes because you'll watch them portray themselves as something and like just be diehard about that. Like they'll just be on social media being like, "I do this, I grind here, like I am a hustler, I everything for myself, blah blah blah, I have all this money, I have all this stuff that they're showing off," and then in person they have no money, they're in debt, they've been renting a car. It'll be like for an image that just no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
So like
trying to prove yourself.
Like just trying to prove yourself. City. Like there are people that are spending like thousands a day on fucking like outfits when they're fucking broke. And it's literally just for an image, because if you look a certain way, then people are gonna think that you have something to give. And that's like the one thing where I feel like I've had to like watch myself. Just like when I first moved here, like I would meet people and I'd be like, "Oh my God, like you just look like you're doing everything that I want to be doing."
Yeah.
And then I would like hang out with them one more time and I'd realize that every single thing that they did was completely a Facade.
A show, like literally putting on a show. It's so easy. That's one thing. It's like you don't know people out here. You cannot trust a single soul.
Him at this house in West Hollywood, and he was like, yo, like I'm starting like this content house, like we need a videographer, like, and like it sounded super dope. The people he was linked up with were really cool and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go home for a little bit and then I'll come back out. And like I was like, I'm definitely down to like maybe live in this house. It sounds crazy. And then 2 weeks later he got arrested.
I can't trust any of like the content houses because there are so many, and every single one that I've heard from like behind like closed doors, you have to pay to be in the house. So you're paying to be there. You have to sign all these contracts. You're paying money to be there. And everything that like looks so shiny and glamorous in like the first month or two, it's all true. Like, yeah, there are people to help you. There's all these outlets, but like once the money starts like piling up, which it does, because these places are like in the fucking top of the hills, like huge places, mansions, like all these crazy. In 2018, I went to Dan Bilzerian's house when it was his house. And that was like, oh, okay, I'm in LA now. Like I've been invited to the Bilzerian house. That is like, that's like the christening of moving to LA, is being a fucking, you're 18, hopefully, and you get invited to the house. So I went, and it was like this big mansion, like huge house in Bel Air. We went to a event opening, like last November, and apparently since Dan Bilzerian, he's like broke apparently, and he doesn't live in that house anymore. It's now a content house.
The Wish House.
The Wish House.
I didn't even know
So we were with this one girl, and she was from Florida, and she was like, oh, my friend wants us to go to this place. And we were like, okay, like we'll come with, like, I don't care. Like drinking, whatever, having a good time. We show up and it's this house. And I was like, oh my God, I've been here before. Like I've literally signed my life away on the fucking NDA that I had to sign to get into this house. Like that's crazy. This is so funny that like full circle, we're back at the house. We go up. I'll talk to you about that later, but we go up and we get to the front door. This like first of all, 5'5", nothing wrong with that, but I just wasn't expecting it. Man walks out and he's like, what's up, Jenny?
He's in a fucking other dude was in a fucking robe, like if he was like the richest man on earth, wearing like this long silk robe, like
paying to be there, but whatever. So and they just come out and they're just like, oh, what's up, Jenny? That was the name of the other girl. And they were like, yeah, so I just like we're just having like a really like chill night. Like I just don't think it's like gonna work tonight.
And I like stepped in, like I started like walking. He's like, whoa. Like we gotta figure some stuff out first.
These people have no idea what even went on in this house like 2 years ago. They have no idea. And I'm just like, I was here before you. And yet because you have like 200,000 followers on something and a manager that's the same age as you, that's actually taking all of your money, which you don't have because you haven't been paid it yet. Just because you're living there, like you've been there for what, 3 weeks? Good job, buddy. Those parties were insane. Have you ever seen like the Ignite parties? Like
is he like a tool? I feel like he's such a tool.
You have to cut every single part of this. This cannot be released because I actually did sign
This is the good shit right here. I've been falling down the rabbit's hole of this YouTube boxing shit. Have you guys ever met Jake Paul?
Yes. Have I not told you this?
You got with him?
No.
Oh, did you go to the Team 10 house?
It was when I was friends with like Mosey and like all of those guys. One day I went to go hang out with Suave, and it was actually really fun. We were just coloring on these huge poster boards. Like we just got like a bunch of colored Sharpies, and we're just coloring on poster board the whole day. And he was like, oh, there's this photo shoot. Like you have to go to it. Like I really want you to go to the photo shoot. I think it'd be a great opportunity. And I was like, I mean, okay, like, okay, what's the photo shoot? And he was like, it's at the Team 10 house. And I was like, what's Team 10? Because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I never watched YouTube, so I really had no idea. He was like, it would be really good for your image. And I was like, oh, okay, like whatever. So he FaceTimes this random guy that was like casting it. And he was like, I want you to hire my friend to do this photo shoot with you guys. And like took a video. He was like on FaceTime, like telling me to like spin around or whatever. And I was just like, hi. Like I had like no makeup on. I was wearing like a big ass sweatshirt, and I was just like, oh God, this is so embarrassing. Like, It's like when I was insecure. So I was like, fuck. But he was like, tell your friend to come by, like send me her Instagram, whatever. And so I go, and it's at like 9 a.m. I show up, and basically all they said was to bring bikinis.
Super nerve-wracking, like
Not really. Like at the time, like I was doing a bunch of shoots like that. I was doing a bunch of shoots where I was just like in bikinis. Like I was really into like bathing suits at that point, like bathing suit modeling and whatnot. I was like doing stuff for Coral Swim with like Adam, and I was doing like stuff for Boutine and whatever. It was that part of my life, but it was fun at the time. And I get there and I'm the first person there. And I was like, so embarrassing. Like, I don't want to be the first person. So I have to.
Did they have like a gate? They had to let you in?
Oh, huge gate. No, so there's a gate to get into the neighborhood. So I had to be given a code, and then you drive up all this huge windy ass road, windy. And then you get to a circle of houses, and you go up to another gate, and there's a door gate, and then there's a car gate, and you have to ring the bell and like blah, buzz in, like, hi, I'm here for this. And but the Uber had left, so I had to buzz the car gate and just like walk through it. And so then I walked up, and as I'm walking up, just like picture this, there's like all these different like kind of sculptures, like weird like sculptures in front of the house, and then there was just the blue Lambo and like all these random ass like dirt bikes and like big ass trucks and whatnot, from a party that they had done.
I think I actually know the party you're talking about.
It was the party where like
it was like huge, right?
It was like huge, like,
like dirt bike
party. But at that party, I was invited to that party. I didn't go because I was leaving. I was actually leaving the night of the day that I did the photo shoot. So I left.
Chris Brown and like all of them were actually.
Dude, it was fucked because my friends that had gone, and they sent me a picture of the news on Snapchat of the next morning, and it was like all these girls got raped at Jake Paul's house, and now all the allegations are coming out right now of like everything that happened with him and Azadi. Guess who was fucking running the shoot that I went to? Azadi. I literally met all of those guys. Simon fucking whatever the fuck his last name is, weird ass dude. Azadi, weird ass dude. All those guys. So picture this, I'm at the photo shoot, girls are starting to show up. All of these girls, I am the only one there that does not have noticeable, like very noticeable plastic surgery, like insane amounts of, like insane. Like fake tits, fake ass, fake everything, like tummy tucks, facelifts, every single thing in their face, like everything. And I was asking everyone how old they were, and all these girls, they were like, oh yeah, I'm like 19, 20, like whatever. They were all the same age as me, and I was just like I didn't even got my lips done at this point.
Yeah.
I was full ass like needle virgin. Like I had maybe a few tattoos. I was like not even close to
that's crazy.
Understanding just how like really real that was. And then this other girl showed up who I thought had nothing done to her. And I was like, dude, there's so many people with plastic surgery in here. She was like, oh yeah, I have this, this, and this. And I was like, what? Like, when did I get this memo? I didn't. So I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this is like crazy. So it was basically just this group. It was like 30 girls. We're all just like taking photos, doing random shit, all in bikinis. They're like, let's take some group photos. We want you here. And oh, you know the guy in, do you know the TikToker Thomas? And he's like,
yeah, he started the High Pass, right?
That was like before he was in it though. That was when he was doing Team 10 stuff.
Was he in Team 10?
I don't know. I wasn't really sure like what Team 10 was, but so we did like the whole photo shoot, and we were just like taking photos, blah blah blah. And then all these people were like, oh, you have to stay. Like there's like all like there's a party tonight. There's like all this stuff, like you guys should stay and whatever. And I was like, no, I have a flight. Like I have to leave. When I met Jake Paul was when I went to his house like a few days before with Suave. So we show up at like 4 a.m. to this party, and he picks me up and he's like, oh, we're going to Jake's house. I was like, who's Jake? And he was like, Jake Paul. And I was like, oh, Jake Paul, Jake Paul, okay. Like, okay. So I get into like, how do I really react? I'm like, like literally how the fuck? And this was the first experience that like a girl had flirted with me, and I was like pretty sure that she was like trying to flirt with me. Super fun. But so I was at that party, and I met like all these people. Tana was there. This guy like Cole something. He was a makeup artist in Team 10, but there was like a falling out or something. Azadi was there.
Was the Thomas guy cool?
Yeah, he was fine. He was like kind of shy, but like he was nice. Like he was fine. He like hit me up after and was like kind of DMing me like, oh, we should hang out. And then
you could have been in the High Pass, Mark.
I met Jake when I'm trying to remember if I met him at the party or if I met him at the photo shoot. It was a very, very, very short encounter, but basically people were like, oh, Jake's back. Like, but he was friends with one of my friends that I'd made at the photo shoot, and like she had been texting him and whatnot. And like I kind of watched how they interacted.
How was he? Was he like weird, or was he like?
Seemed like he was in a rush. So he was just kind of like going, like bouncing from place to place.
And it's just like a horde of girls going up to him.
Yeah, just a crowd around him at all times.
That's such a weird setup, you know?
Yeah, because it's like, what do you do? Because then the second that he leaves, everyone's like, okay, back to doing what we were doing before. Yeah, I'm like, okay, like what? Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Oh God, my memory is so fuzzy from those times.
Where you're at now, do you feel like modeling is still the center focus for you, or what do you think? What's next for Marley Tipper?
I feel like I never thought of myself as a model in that sense. I feel like I do modeling, but I don't think of myself as a model. Paris and I were talking about this recently, but I was just like I do so much more. I feel like I'm just trying to work on like my brand as a person and like what I want to portray, what I want to be putting out, like what kind of photos I want to be taking, what kind of videos I want to make, what kind of like shit I want to do. So like what's next? Maybe like some cool things that I don't know yet that I could, make. We have some ideas that are brewing, but they haven't really gotten to a boil yet, so I don't want to show them prematurely.
Yeah. No.
But I'm going to do a little campaign for this one brand that I sealed a deal yesterday.
It's exciting.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. That's going to be good. It's going to be in like mid-May. And it's like a whole lookbook. And I'm like the face of it.
Really?
And yeah, I have a photo shoot with Adam soon. So there's going to be some more Adam photos. That'll be really fun. Yeah, I'm excited to brainstorm what I'm going to do next when I'm in Vermont in June.
I feel like this is a very raw look at like the other side of you that I see. That like the like Marley Tipper, like no makeup, like whatever, like.
Yeah, like I want to look like a bad bitch.
You do. You look gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you coming on.
Speed down on a